Revealed, God's prophetic message for you. Claim your miraculous September blessings today. Sarah glanced at the calendar hanging on her kitchen wall. September had arrived, and with it, the vibrant energy of the community surrounding her. Life pulsed through the city, colorful banners flapping against the invigorating breeze. Yet, her heart felt heavy in her chest as she turned to her son, Lucas, who lay on the couch, weariness etched on his small face. Just days earlier, she had heard the prophetic voice at the church. This month, blessings await those who dare to believe. The memory of that declaration lingered like a sweet perfume, but as she looked at Lucas, doubt began to creep in. Was this merely a dream? Could they truly experience miracles amidst the chaos? The thought gnawed at her, each wave of skepticism battling against the flicker of hope. You could almost hear the tension in the air. The church meeting had been charged with electric anticipation. People gathered, their hearts open, their eyes shining like stars in the night sky. She had felt a surge, the collective faith wrapping around her like a warm blanket. They prayed, voices lifted to the heavens, filled with urgency and reverence. And yet, back at home, reality remained stark. Bills piled up, treatment seemed endless, and each doctor's visit felt like a step further into despair. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the days slipped by in a blur of worry, Sarah's hope waned. She tried to remedy their struggles through conventional means, searching endlessly for healing with every doctor's prescription, every test. But this path seemed muddled, tangled in impossible knots that refused to unravel. Each night, she sank to her knees, pleading for guidance amidst the noise of disbelief from her family and whispers of the medical community. Yet deep inside, her spirit yearned for a miracle, a sign that their cries had not gone unheard. Desperation prompted her to call upon her faith community. One crisp evening, they gathered around her, hands clasped, eyes closed, praying fervently for Lucas. In those moments, the air transformed, crackling with anticipation. The weight of her burden felt lighter, shared among those who understood the depths of her heart. But just when clarity seemed near, doubts descended like a storm cloud. Would this act yield the divine intervention she so urgently sought? Her fears spiraled deeper as September rolled on. Would the blessings ever come? What did it mean to really dare to believe? As she stood at the precipice of wavering faith, aching silence draped over her heart. And then, in that dark night of the soul, a flicker ignited, a sensation of warmth brushed against her spirit, stirring her soul. Before she could fully grasp this miracle brewing on the horizon, Lucas began to show signs of unexpected healing, days after the communal prayers. His laughter echoed through their small apartment, brightening the space. What did this mean? What would come next? As Sarah watched his eyes twinkle, the specter of hope had found its way back to her heart. Would she dare to embrace the wonders of divine glory in midst of the chaos of life? The journey had only just begun. As dawn broke on a new day, soft rays of light streamed through the kitchen window, illuminating Sarah's face. She stood, a cup of steaming tea warming her hands, watching Lucas jump around the living room with newfound energy. His laughter, once rare, now rang like a joyous bell, a sound that chased away the ghosts of doubt. In his joy, Sarah felt her heart swell with gratitude, like a balloon filling up, ready to burst with hope. But amidst all this joy, the fear of uncertainty still hugged her tightly. What did this healing mean? Was it truly miraculous or merely a fleeting moment of joy? Her heart raced in anticipation, yet knots of anxiety tightened within her as she fixed breakfast. Each bite of toast tasted like a glimpse of the divine. What had changed? Was it the prayers? Was it the attention of friends? Or was it simply the first flickers of hope? Sarah pondered deeply. That evening, her neighbors invited her and Lucas to a gathering in their garden. Lanterns hung like stars in the fading twilight, and laughter filled the air, a sweet melody of connection. As they settled in, Sarah looked around. Children played tag while adults shared stories, the atmosphere thick with a sense of community. She felt a surge of warmth. Perhaps this was part of the blessing too, a reminder that they were not alone, that in the midst of laughter, a familiar face approached her. It was Sarah's friend Eliza, a beacon of light with her ever-encouraging spirit. "You know," Eliza said gently, her eyes searching Sarah's, "sometimes miracles aren't just grand displays. They can come quietly, even in laughter and love." Tears pricked at Sarah's eyes. "I've been so afraid. What if Lucas's healing doesn't last? What if?" "Do not focus on the what-ifs," Eliza replied firmly but gently. "Focus on the what is. Look at him. Isn't he smiling? Isn't that enough?" In that moment, clarity dawned on Sarah. It wasn't just about the healing or the prayers, it was about believing in those very moments, the moments that filled their lives even amidst storms. She noticed Lucas, his carefree spirit, a vivid reminder of the life and light God bestowed upon them. As they ate, Sarah bowed her head, whispering a prayer of thanksgiving, a swell of emotions wrapping around her heart. "Remember," Eliza continued, leaning closer. "Blessings often follow divine purpose. Sometimes we must take a leap of faith, shake off doubt, and run toward the light." After the gathering, under a starlit sky, Sarah walked home, Lucas's hand tightly clasped in hers. The night was quiet, yet a vibrant hum lingered in the atmosphere. That hum resonated with a sacred promise. What if this was just the beginning? Within her spirit, a whisper urged her to continue believing, to hold on to that flicker of hope. As they reached home, Sarah felt a stirring within. Something more was coming, something mysterious, yet undeniably divine. What was this next step? What more had God planned for them in this sacred journey? Tomorrow would reveal more. She could feel it deep within her soul, that profound sense of anticipation. What incredible transformation awaited as she continued to dare to believe. Morning light poured into the modest home, chasing shadows into corners. Sarah stirred awake, the world beyond her window still shrouded in the gentle embrace of twilight. Yet within her, anticipation crackled like a live wire. As she sipped her tea, she watched Lucas, still peacefully dreaming, a soft smile painting his lips. What dreams danced in his mind? Was he delighting in adventures or simply soaring through blue skies? Hope flickered in Sarah's heart, filling her with strength as if God himself were whispering promises to her soul. She prepared breakfast with renewed energy, each movement a small prayer of gratitude. The smell of warm bread filled the home, but it was the warmth in her heart that nourished her spirit most. A spark brightened her thoughts. This day could unfold new wonders. Once Lucas woke, he joined Sarah, his laughter slicing through the last remnants of morning mist. The joy in his bright eyes was like a beacon. Together, they stepped outside, greeted by a sky brushed with soft violet hues. As they walked toward the park, a sense of connection blossomed around them. The community was alive, bustling with morning joggers and families setting out for the day. Sarah's heart raced in sync with Lucas's excited chatter. "Mom, look at that squirrel!" he exclaimed, pointing to a fluffy creature darting across the grass. "God's creations are everywhere, aren't they?" Sarah mused, kneeling beside him. Even in the smallest, there's beauty and purpose. Their laughter melted into the morning air as they played. In these simple moments, Sarah felt the weight of worry loosen its grip. As the sun climbed higher, they visited the community center, where a notice board displayed events and gatherings. A flyer caught her eye, a prayer meeting scheduled for that evening. An inner pull nudged her. What if this was another step in their journey? A way to connect and share together in faith? Walking home, her mind raced. Could prayer lead to deeper clarity? She wanted to believe. As evening approached, their home transformed into a sanctuary again, filled with the scent of fragrant candles. Just before the meeting, she sat quietly in the dim light, a moment of reflection. She recalled Eliza's words from the previous night and felt a rush of gratitude wash over her. The warmth enveloped her like a soft embrace, cleansing her fears and doubts. "Lord," she whispered, "I trust in your plan. Guide me, show me the next step." The words weighed lightly on her lips, imbuing the air with the essence of faith. Moments later, as she held Lucas's hand, a gentle resolve enveloped her. They walked toward the gathering, hearts open to whatever divine purpose awaited. Within the bustling room, voices mingled harmoniously. Sarah felt something shift, a sense of divine invitation like the warm wind that rustles through leaves. The group prayed together, a sweet tapestry of hope woven through each person's intercession and faith. Then, something remarkable happened. As they gathered in a circle, a shared vulnerability emerged. Stories unfolded of struggles and victories, reminiscent of her own. Many had faced battles of both body and spirit, and here they were embracing each other with understanding. Suddenly, Lucas's laughter rang out again, lifting the atmosphere. It wasn't just joy, it was a palpable light that seemed to sparkle around them. "Look, Mom. It's like we're a family," he shouted, and his innocence struck a chord deep within Sarah. In that moment, she realized something profound. The divine was working in the collective, binding them through shared experiences in faith. What had felt solitary before now pulsed with connection. As they concluded the evening with heartfelt prayers, Sarah's heart brimmed with renewal. She recognized that sometimes, miracles don't just happen individually, they arise in community. What other surprises were waiting just around the corner? How would God continue to weave their lives together with others on this sacred journey? Sarah's spirit soared. With eyes wide and heart open, she leaned into this growing sense of divine adventure. The echo of anticipation hummed around her. What awaited them next? As the moonlight bathed the streets in silver hues, Sarah's heart danced with the echo of gratitude from the prayer meeting. She couldn't shake off the resonance of shared faith that pulsed through her. It was as if a veil had lifted, revealing her path more brightly than ever before. That night, as Lucas drifted into sleep, Sarah sat at the window, gazing at the stars dappled across the inky sky. Each twinkling light felt like a promise, a reminder of the boundless love that surrounded them. She closed her eyes, and once more, she whispered, "What's next, Lord? Show me." The days turned into a rhythm of joy and learning. Each morning, they would explore more of their community. Lucas became fascinated with the stories shared by the elderly in the park, soaking in their wisdom like a sponge. Sarah noticed how Lucas transformed the mundane into the marvelous simply by engaging with others. "Mom, did you know that Mr. Thompson used to be a sailor?" Lucas exclaimed, his eyes shining with wonder. "He told me about ships and storms and treasure hunts." Sarah smiled, her heart swelling. What a beautiful adventure. And how amazing it is that he shares that with you. This became their routine. Stories, laughter, and connection filled their days, wrapping them in a cocoon of warmth. Sarah began to understand that God wasn't just in the big moments, he thrived in the small, daily encounters. Each interaction was a thread in the fabric of a larger tapestry they'd yet to see fully. One afternoon, as they visited a local food bank, Sarah witnessed a poignant moment. A woman stepped forward, tears sparkling in her eyes, as she received a bag of food. She turned to the volunteers, her voice trembling, "Thank you. I have no words, I didn't think I could feed my children this week." At that moment, Sarah felt a surge of empathy wash over her. She turned to Lucas and whispered, "See how important it is to help others, sweetheart. We have something to give." Lucas nodded solemnly, his young mind grasping the weight of the situation. "Can we help, Mom?" Sarah's heart melted at his eagerness. "Absolutely, honey." They spent the next hour sorting canned goods and packing boxes with the volunteers. As they worked, Sarah noticed how Lucas seemed to gather the smiles and thanks like treasures. Those heartfelt encounters became jewels, and she felt their significance deep within her spirit. That evening, she prepared dinner with a renewed purpose. Her heart was ablaze with thoughts of service and community. As she and Lucas sat at the table, she shared stories of their day. Lucas beamed with excitement, recounting how they brightened lives even in their small town. "Mom, I think we should do more of this," he said with such conviction that it sparked joy in Sarah. She realized that this calling, this purpose, was beginning to shape both their lives. Just as they finished dinner, a knock resonated on the door. Curiosity buzzed in Sarah's chest as she opened it to find Eliza standing on the doorstep, a smile illuminating her face. "I've come to share something incredible with you." Sarah's heart quickened. What miraculous revelation awaited them this evening? As they gathered around the table once more, excitement filled the air like electric current. "You won't believe what I've discovered through prayer and reflection," Eliza began, her voice brimming with energy. "There's a movement starting, and it could change everything for our community." What was this movement? Who would it touch? Sarah leaned forward, eager to hear more. As the greater design of God's purpose began to unfurl before their very eyes, how would they fit into this unfolding narrative of hope? Eliza took a deep breath, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "It's called Hearts United. The idea is to bring people together in an act of compassion, a series of community service events that align with our values of love and fellowship. We would mobilize everyone, families, youth, the elderly, to work side by side. It's about being the hands and feet of Christ in our town." Sarah felt a wave of excitement wash over her. The name itself resonated deeply. It captured the essence of what she and Lucas had experienced over the past few weeks. "That sounds incredible, Eliza. What do you need?" Eliza leaned forward, her voice a mix of urgency and inspiration. "We need volunteers to help organize, coordinate events, and spread the word. This could be our chance to ignite a spirit of generosity, Sarah. Imagine the difference we could make, every small act adding up to a big change." Lucas bounced in his seat, his youthful energy tangling with the fervor in the room. "Can we help, Mom? Can we be part of it?" Sarah caught the sight of hope shimmering in her son's eyes, and she smiled, feeling uplifted. "Of course, we can, Lucas. This is exactly what we've been drawn to. Together, we can serve our community." The conversation flowed like a river, full of ideas and dreams. Sarah's heart filled as she thought about how to connect her peers, about the stories they could tell, and the lives they could change. She envisioned neighbors gathering for meals, children planting flowers together, and families reaching out to one another in friendship. "What's our first step?" she asked, her spirit buzzing with anticipation. Eliza spoke swiftly. "We'll hold a meeting this Saturday in the park. We'll invite anyone who wants to help, anyone who is curious. We need to get voices together, create a buzz. Let's make flyers." Lucas suggested with gleeful zeal. "I can help distribute them." "A wonderful idea." Sarah clapped, feeling the warmth of shared purpose blossoming around them. Everyone should have the chance to be part of something beautiful. As they spent the rest of the evening brainstorming and preparing, Sarah's mind raced. Each fluttering thought painted a bright vision of what might come next. She sensed a divine wind blowing through their lives, a serendipity that surely originated from those moments they had shared at the food bank. Later that night, as she tucked Lucas into bed, she marveled at how quickly everything had shifted. "You know, sweetheart," she said softly, stroking his hair, "this journey we're on is special. God uses us in ways we might not even see yet." Lucas looked up at her, his innocent eyes filled with wonder. "Do you think we're part of something big, Mom? Like, God's plan?" Sarah felt her heart swell. "Yes, my love. I believe we are. But it's a journey, and we'll keep discovering more as we go. Just like those stories you love." As she turned off the light, leaving a soft glow in the room, Sarah closed her eyes. She surrendered her worries and embraced the excitement. "Lord, guide our steps as we step into this new adventure," she whispered. Little did they know, this movement was only the beginning, a gateway to deeper connections, challenges, and unforeseen blessings. The pulse of hope surged through their small town, weaving threads of courage and love even as twilight settled. What awaited them at the park this Saturday? Would they embrace the mysteries unfolding before them, or would something even greater surprise them all? The sun peeked through the clouds, casting a warm golden glow over the park. Sarah stood at the entrance, heart fluttering with anticipation. The excitement of the day stirred within her, a blend of hope and purpose. She scanned the area, taking in the vibrant balloons tied to the benches, the colorful banners, and the aroma of fresh coffee wafting through the air. People were beginning to gather, their faces lit with the promise of unity and service. Lucas bounced beside her, clutching a handful of flyers, his smile contagious. "Look, Mom. Everyone seems so happy." "Yes, sweetheart," Sarah replied, her voice soft with warmth. "This is just the start. We're bringing our community together to share love, just like Jesus taught us." As more families arrived, Sarah felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. Here were neighbors and strangers turned friends, all joining together for a shared purpose. She noticed familiar faces, people she had met at the food bank, and others she had waved to on the street. Each smile felt like a thread weaving them tighter into a fabric of fellowship. Eliza arrived shortly after, carrying a bundle of supplies. "Sarah, look at this turnout." Her eyes sparkled with joy. "I never expected so many people to show up. It's amazing, isn't it?" "God is really moving," Sarah replied, her heart swelling with pride and anticipation for the day ahead. As they gathered in a circle, Eliza welcomed everyone, her voice ringing clear. "Today, we're not just volunteers, we're vessels of God's love. Let us put our hearts into every act today, however small. Together, we can make a real difference." The crowd erupted with cheers, a wave of excitement that felt almost palpable. Sarah felt something shift in the atmosphere, a divine energy humming through the park. She exchanged glances with Lucas, who was bouncing on his feet, his eyes wide. Sarah smiled down at him, knowing that this experience was shaping not only their community but also forming a deeper bond between them. "Let us get to work," Eliza called out, breaking their moment of reflection. Groups began to form, each taking on different tasks. Some set out to clean the nearby park, while others planned to visit elderly neighbors in need of companionship. Sarah found herself with a group of enthusiastic youth, and they quickly began setting up meal packages for local families. Conversations flowed easily as they worked, stories shared between laughter and kind words. Each act seemed to echo the compassion they all felt inside. With every smile exchanged and every box prepared, Sarah realized they were building more than just a service day, they were building a family, an extended community under God's guiding grace. In a quiet moment, she stepped aside, standing in the sunlight. A wave of peace enveloped her. "Thank you, Lord," she whispered, feeling the warmth touch her heart. "You have brought us together. Please guide us in our actions." But just as Sarah was about to return to her group, she noticed an older gentleman sitting alone on a nearby bench, his expression thoughtful, almost troubled. Drawn by an inexplicable urge, she approached him. "Hello there," she said gently. "Is everything all right?" His eyes met hers, and for a moment, a silence stretched between them, thick with unspoken words. Then he smiled softly. "It's been a long time since I felt a part of anything." At that moment, Sarah realized that beneath the surface of joy, there were many souls longing for connection, for compassion. Would they find their place in this unity? Just then, a sudden gust of wind rustled the leaves, almost whispering secrets to her. What stories, what transformations might unfold today? Would these connections heal the wounds of isolation? And what divine surprises awaited them on this beautiful day? Sarah's heart quickened. The old man's words hung in the air like a prayer, and she felt that gentle nudge of the Holy Spirit, urging her to forge a connection. Taking a seat beside him, she ventured, "My name is Sarah. I see you're watching the gathering. What brings you here today?" He looked at her, the weight of years evident in his gaze. I've lived in this area for decades. But lately, I've felt like a ghost watching life go by, feeling invisible. I understand, Sarah replied, her voice filled with empathy. Sometimes, the world can make us feel isolated, even in a crowd. He nodded, his expression softening. I used to be involved in community events like this, but life has taken its toll. God hasn't forgotten you, Sarah said, her conviction strong. He wants you to be part of this love we're sharing today. A flicker of hope brightened his eyes. You really believe that? Absolutely, she affirmed, her heart full. We need each other. He made us for fellowship, not solitude. They shared a silence, a sacred moment where Sarah silently prayed for his heart to open. It was then that Lucas appeared, holding a vibrant flyer. Mom, look! Can I help set up more food packages? Of course, honey. She beamed at her son, then turned back to the gentleman beside her. You should join us. Every helping hand matters. His smile returned, though it trembled with uncertainty. I don't know if I'm up to it. Every act of kindness counts, no matter how small, she encouraged, feeling a compelling energy to draw him in. You might inspire others more than you realize. With a hesitant nod, he stood. All right, I'll give it a try. Wonderful! Sarah exclaimed, rising with him. Together, they walked towards the bustling youth, the joy rising around them like a wave. Sarah felt the warmth of friendship grow stronger, binding them all together as they worked side by side. Eliza noticed the new addition and beamed at the old man. Welcome. We're thrilled to have you here. Let us show our neighbors the love of Christ. As the day unfolded, laughter and stories mingled with the sweet scent of food. Everyone contributed, their shared commitment to serve weaving a richer tapestry of connection. Lucas handed a meal package to a young girl, her eyes lighting up at his enthusiasm. Kneeling beside the elderly lady they visited, Sarah held her hands, sharing simple moments of joy. Sister, you are not alone. We're here for you. The lady's eyes shimmered with gratitude. Thank you, dear. You're like sunshine on a cloudy day. With every heart touched and life woven into theirs, Sarah felt God's presence enveloping them. But as the day drew toward a golden close, she glanced at the old gentleman, now helping to lift food boxes, a newfound light in his demeanor. He caught her gaze and simply nodded, understanding passing between them, a quiet acknowledgement of transformation. Just as Sarah began to bask in the glow of the day's success, another gust of wind swept through, carrying with it whispers of the unknown. What incredible plans might God have laid out for this enhanced community? Would this day solidify bonds that heaven itself rejoiced over? And would their newfound unity reveal the next chapter of their journey? As the sun began to set, casting long shadows, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that more awaited them, perhaps even the miraculous. What awaited just beyond the horizon? As the last rays of sunlight dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow upon their gathering, Sarah felt a tangible shift in the atmosphere. The air tingled with expectancy, as if God himself was inviting them into something profound. She breathed deeply, savoring the sense of freshly prepared meals mingling with the laughter and chatter of her community. The old gentleman, now fully absorbed in the task of serving, shared a story with a group gathered around him. His voice, once tentative, now resonated with warmth and life. You know, he began, a gentle smile playing on his lips, when I stopped focusing on my own troubles and poured myself into helping others, something shifted within me. It's as if I've awakened from a long sleep. His words stirred a wave of affirmation among the listeners. Eliza leaned in closer, eyes sparkling with shared enthusiasm. Yes. When we step out of our comfort zones and lean into faith, we start to see God's hand in everything. Lucas piped up, his young voice bright with innocence. Like a treasure hunt. You don't know what you'll find until you search for it. Sarah chuckled, her heart swelling. The trust and openness among them felt like a manifestation of God's promise. The joy of giving and the warmth of community were treasures indeed. But then, with a sudden hush, the laughter faded. An elderly man, not one of their gathering, approached slowly. His clothes were worn, and the shadow of hardship clouded his eyes. He paused, a look of uncertainty on his face, as the community turned to him, drawn into an unspoken dance of compassion. "Excuse me," he began, his voice low, trembling under the weight of his burdens. "I heard about the food you're sharing. May I?" His question hung in the air, heavy yet laced with hope. "Absolutely." Sarah stepped forward, her heart racing. "We would love to share our meal with you. You're not alone." The man's face softened, revealing lines of disappointment that seemed to relax. "Thank you," he said softly, his gratitude pouring forth like a hesitant stream. As Sarah handed him a meal package, their hands brushed. In that fleeting moment, a spark ignited between them, a connection beyond words, an embodiment of God's love flowing through. Then, the gentle gust of wind that had stirred earlier returned, swirling around them. It felt like a whisper, a clear reminder of God's presence. What if, Sarah thought, this moment is meant for something more? What if God is calling not just to fill stomachs, but to heal hearts? They gathered closer, forming a circle around the newcomer. With encouraging nods, they extended their hands, offering prayers of peace and strength. Voices rose softly, harmonizing in a simple yet profound melody, a song of unity and love. Tears glimmered in the eyes of many, their hearts touched by the blend of vulnerability and compassion. The old gentleman from earlier joined the circle, his voice now bold. "We stand together. Let our lives be a testimony of God's grace." As they released their prayers into the twilight, a profound peace settled over the group. But within Sarah, a stirring intensified. She sensed there was more, something great awaiting revelation. What breakthrough could God be orchestrating through this divine assembly? What was the connection forming before her eyes, and where would it lead? As they finished their prayers, the sunset faded into deeper shades of blue, and the night began to twinkle with stars. Sarah felt a sense of urgency rise within her. What was God planning behind the fabric of this moment? Could tonight be the beginning of their most miraculous journey yet? The stars overhead twinkled like distant promises, each one a silent witness to the sacred energy enveloping Sarah and her community. The elderly man stood at the center, the evening air cooling around him but sparking warmth in their hearts. He looked at them, these generous souls who had welcomed him so openly, and the shadows that had lingered in his eyes began to flicker away. "I never expected such kindness," he said, his voice steadying as he took a deep breath. In a world where so many turn their backs, it's easy to forget that love still exists. Sarah felt the weight of his words cradle the moment, a reminder that every act of kindness holds the potential to change not just one life, but many. "Your presence here matters," she replied, emboldened by his honesty. "We believe that together we can be vessels of hope, sharing God's love and care." Eliza chimed in, "And we want you to feel part of this community, not just tonight but always." Her enthusiasm was infectious, sparking smiles around the circle, but the elderly man, whose name they learned was Samuel, looked thoughtful. "But what if I don't have much to offer in return?" "Sometimes," Sarah said gently, "it's not about what we have but what we can give from our hearts. A smile, a moment of listening, or even your story can touch souls in ways we can't fathom." With each exchange, the atmosphere thickened with purpose. Sarah's mind raced with possibilities. What if Samuel held wisdom that could guide them toward deeper connections? As the conversations unfolded, stories of hardship emerged, interlaced with revelation and laughter. Samuel shared a tale from his youth, a moment when he had decided to help a stranger, how it had changed both their lives fundamentally. "Sometimes blessings come through the most unexpected encounters," he mused, his voice thick with emotion. Suddenly, a soft breeze danced through the gathering, cool with a whisper of divine reminder. Sarah felt her spirit lift. She understood then that this night was not merely a meeting of hearts, it was a collection of journeys converging under God's grand design. What if, she thought, tonight is a divine appointment? A crossroad where our lives intertwine to reveal something extraordinary. Lucas, keen to contribute, drew everyone's attention. "Let us create something together. Maybe we can write down our stories, share our dreams. His innocent enthusiasm was a spark, igniting a flicker of genius in Sarah's heart. That thought rippled through the group, the tendrils of hope weaving tightly among them. They could transform their individual stories into one powerful testament, a living testament of faith, resilience, and community. As they discussed how to unite their stories, laughter and joy filled the air once more. The sacredness of the moment deepened as they began to plan together, unleashing ideas that danced like the flames of their shared meals. An hour slipped by like a heartbeat, and just as Sarah felt ready to delve deeper, a sudden stillness fell across the gathering. They felt it, a presence, an energy that surged as Samuel stood, his face bright with revelation. I think I know what God wants us to do, and it involves each of us stepping out and sharing our light with the world. His proclamation sent a ripple of excitement and trepidation among them. As Sarah's heart raced, she wondered where the unfolding message would lead them. What bold steps were they being called to take? As the night deepened, stars shimmering brightly overhead, Sarah felt the weight of expectation woven tightly to faith. The answer was drawing closer, yet the mystery remained. What divine mission awaited them in the days ahead, and how would they be called to shine in the darkness? In the soft embrace of morning light, Sarah awoke with a sense of anticipation buzzing beneath her skin. It was as though the very air around her carried whispers of hope. She looked across the room to find Lucas still nestled in slumber, his gentle breathing a comforting rhythm. What would today unfold, she pondered, a smile rising on her lips. The recent days had been a whirlwind of community, unveiling something profound. They had welcomed Samuel, the elderly man whose specter of loneliness had softened into companionship. Together, they shared laughter and wisdom, weaving their experiences into a tapestry of shared faith. As she prepared breakfast, Sarah marveled at the changes in her life. Gone were the dark corners, replaced by radiant light spilling through her kitchen window. Each ingredient she stirred into the pot felt like a piece of an unfinished puzzle, waiting to reveal its greater picture. "Thank you, Lord," she whispered, a prayer laced with gratitude. In the days since the prayer meeting, word of the Hearts United movement had spread throughout the community. Sarah felt an explosive energy, as families gathered, volunteers committed, and children laughed in anticipation of serving together. Each smile and voice became a melody, weaving a symphony of collaboration that resonated beyond what she had ever imagined. Finally, they had a massive gathering planned, an event to be held in the park where it all began. Balloons swayed like a chorus, canvas tents stood ready to welcome, and an air of joyful expectancy filled the atmosphere. As she and Lucas arrived at the park, Sarah felt that powerful pulse once more. It reverberated through her heart, reminding her that they were part of something unstoppable. "Look at all the smiles!" Lucas exclaimed, his innocent delight infectious. "Yes, sweetheart," Sarah replied, holding his hand tightly. "Every smile tells a story, and today, we're creating our own." As the sun climbed higher, their event bloomed into life. Groups gathered around, sharing stories and laughter, their arms laden with meal packages and care bags. Samuel stood at the center, his once pensive face now radiant with purpose as he shared his own story, a story that ignited light in others. "Just a few weeks ago, I felt invisible," he began, eyes glimmering with unshed tears. "But through acts of kindness, God reminded me that we're never alone. That warmth, that unity, it's the heart of our faith." An electric silence hung in the air, as the truth of his words touched each soul present. Sarah felt that spark ignite within her once more, expanding her sense of purpose. Then, presenting a stack of colorful cards, Lucas stepped forward with youthful exuberance. "Can we share our dreams today?" he suggested. Those eager eyes filled with wonder pierced through any leftover shadows of doubt. "Of course." Sarah beamed proudly. People gathered, intrigued. Together, they began to share their dreams of a better neighborhood, of fostering unity, of lifting the downtrodden. Each dream sparked joy, igniting an undying hope. "Every one of us can shine a light," Eliza's voice rang out, her excited energy infectious as she joined their circle. "When we combine our stories, we can create a narrative that changes hearts and lives." Tears glistened in Sarah's eyes, illuminated by the glow of shared vulnerability. For each shared story, a heartbeat resonated stronger. That day, under the blazing sun and in the embrace of powerful community love, they began a vibrant journey toward healing, illuminating more than they had ever expected. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, Sarah's heart felt like it might burst with the magnitude of what was stirring. The connections were alive with God's grace. The gathering was not simply about giving, it was a testament to the unity they had forged. The night arrived, stars twinkling as if they too celebrated this momentous occasion. Families joined hands, forming a circle around the park as they prayed together. "We give thanks, Lord, for our stories and the unity of our hearts," Sarah began, her voice lifting with fervor. "May our hands work together to serve and elevate those in need. May we forever seek your light." When the final amen resounded in perfect harmony, laughter engulfed the group like a warm embrace. Lucas turned to her, his bright eyes brimming with joy. "Mom, what's next?" Sarah felt the same promise bubble inside her. "Lucas, this is just the beginning. We have much more to do for his kingdom. Together, we'll cultivate this hope and sow love wherever we go." As the stars twinkled high above, she knew they were embarking on a magnificent journey of divine purpose. Embracing the warmth and joy shared within that circle, she resolved to carry their light into the world beyond, knowing their stories would continue to unfold and inspire. With hope swelling in her heart, she looked toward a future bright with promise. "Thank you, Lord, for faith," she concluded, her path clearer than ever. "Let us where you would have us go." And the journey began anew, ever diving deeper into God's plan, blessed to be vessels of his eternal love. Now, my dear friends, this is your moment. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help others find hope. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this ending, we want to hear your story. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. You need to support this channel, because only true servants of God understand the importance of spreading these messages. Don't wait even one more second.